YouTube Music and Spotify are two of the most popular ways to stream your favorite songs. But which one is better? Let's talk about it. Now, by the numbers, Spotify is the king of music streaming. We are talking 210 million paid subscribers and 500 million if we're counting the free ad-supported users. In a recent video where I put Spotify head-to-head with Apple Music, I fell in love with its emphasis on discovery, which led me to find tons of new artists in the month that I spent with it. Surprisingly, I actually ended up keeping my Spotify subscription, though a lot of you took to the comments wondering, what about YouTube Music? Why didn't you talk about YouTube Music, Ned? So, thanks to peer pressure, some mild racism, I had to check out YouTube Music for myself to find out if it's truly better than platforms like Spotify and Apple Music.
My name is Ken.
There are a handful of things I've come to appreciate in the few weeks I've spent with YouTube Music. First, since I'm already paying for YouTube Premium, or rather I am part of Austin's family, which happens to have YouTube Premium. Thanks, Dad. What, you want Daddy? I don't know what to tell you. wait.
Please don't give me more.
The subscription comes with YouTube Music included at no extra cost. And in case it isn't abundantly clear, this is a standalone music streaming service that operates in tandem with YouTube. This is an important distinction to make because YouTube Music has its own apps, has its own officially licensed music library sourced from most major labels, and even has officially curated playlists like you'd find on Spotify and Apple. However, the secret sauce that sets YouTube Music apart from the competition is that you're able to search through YouTube's vast library of user-generated content for additional media that other platforms might not have. Think stuff like live performances, covers, remixes, bootlegs, or hella indie music that for one reason or another only live on YouTube. With hit or miss availability for some tracks in my J-pop fandom, for example, YouTube Music has been able to bridge some gaps that simply isn't possible on other platforms. And that's very cool. Regardless of whether you are sourcing tracks from the YouTube Music library or actual YouTube itself, you can stream and even download audio only, which is especially helpful on mobile if you're trying to keep data usage low and maximize available storage space on your device. In terms of sound quality, it's generally pretty good on this platform. Songs available in YouTube Music's library generally top out at 256 kilobits AAC, which sounds more or less as good as Spotify. Though, of course, your mileage will vary if you start sourcing music from core YouTube. Funny enough, if you go to change the audio quality in the player, you can set it as high as 1080p. I can almost hear the pixels now.
Excuse me, I only listen to music in 4K. 192 kilohertz. Oh, final. Oh.
Naturally, YouTube Music has a toggle right at the top of your now playing screen. By default, it'll be on song when you select a track, but if you hit video, it will of course pull up an actual music video if there's one available. So to sum up all of the positives, if track variety and accessibility are your priority when shopping around for streaming services, YouTube Music is a very competitive option in this space. However, there are a few negative aspects that can't be ignored. First thing, from an ecosystem standpoint, I don't like that YouTube Music doesn't offer a first-party desktop client. While it's cool that they give you a full-fledged interface on the web, having a dedicated, lightweight app is more ideal to free up your browser. Speaking of which, let's talk about the YouTube Music experience on mobile. In my opinion, music apps generally work the best when they're frictionless and straightforward. After all, there are plenty of people, myself included, who seek comfort in music to get through their everyday life. So with that in mind, UX can be a bit of a delicate subject. Now, I've gone on record before saying that Spotify's mobile app is a touch overwhelming. However, I do think that it's miles better than what they're doing on YouTube Music. Comparing even just the home tabs shows this off very well. Spotify has a lot going on here, but it's organized amid the chaos. It doesn't take long to orient yourself around this screen given how much information it's feeding you. Your frequently listened to collections are right up top. They actually squeeze a whole lot of them up there because they know you'll probably probably want to hear them again. Then towards the bottom, it curates things like mixes and artist playlists. Spotify really wants to get you into the music you want to hear. YouTube Music, on the other hand, while it takes similar cues from Spotify, it feels way more clunky. No matter the size of smartphone screen I'm using, the scaling on this app feels way too big. It might sound a bit nitpicky, but when decision paralysis hits and you're trying to find something to listen to, having to scroll through more suggestions and recommendations feel like a chore. Come on, you can fit more than 2 artists on the screen. What certainly doesn't help is that track metadata, aka things like title, artist, and album art, is a goddamn nightmare, which makes the interface even worse. I mean, think about it. Yes, music sourced directly from labels and artists have consistent formatting that's easy to read at a glance. However, take tracks from core YouTube, like actual videos, and all of a sudden, it's the Wild West. The issue here is that metadata formatting can often vary between sources, which can muddy your recommendations that the system serves you. This isn't 100% YouTube's fault necessarily, but it's simply the nature of how the system works. The amount of times I've had YouTube Music pull a video of a remix or a dance cover of something and pass it off to me as official is kind of frustrating as someone that likes order and consistency with my music. Speaking of which, since YouTube Music can source tracks uploaded by random users, it's a bit sketch when it comes to making sure that your favorite artists are getting the play count and revenue they deserve. YouTube's copyright matching tool does an okay job at marking descriptions of unofficial uploads with copyright info while making sure that the artists get revenue off the views, but it isn't foolproof. For example, there's a cover artist that I follow called Harutia that does soothing covers of popular J-pop songs across a few channels with millions of subscribers. Type her name into YouTube Music search, then scroll down a mere inch, and you'll find cover compilations with millions of views each. But judging by the fact that YouTube lists each of these videos as singular songs under an artist named 1 Hour Japan Music, I doubt Harutia is seeing a single dime. And that's potentially thousands upon thousands of AdSense dollars going to someone leeching off her content. And there's plenty of examples of this happening across YouTube. And lastly, there's actually a free tier for YouTube Music that's ad-supported, kind of like Spotify. However, it does not let you play music in the background on mobile, which is very dumb and makes no sense whatsoever, and therefore is probably the biggest con of them all. So, is YouTube Music better than Spotify? In my opinion, not even close. There are plenty of things that miss the mark for me personally, but if you simply want to listen to your tunes, the value is certainly there with it being included with YouTube Premium. Just don't look at the moral cost or the interface, or just don't at all. But I want to know, was I too harsh on YouTube Music? Drop me a line in the comments below. I'm sure you guys would absolutely love to do that. And otherwise, thanks for watching this episode on Denki channel.
Amazon Prime Music!
Let's go!